Is Hybe losing control? What is Yoongi doing alone in the US while donations to Severance Hospital are stirring global headlines? Something isn't adding up, and the clock is ticking. Dive into the untold story that's unfolding faster than anyone expected. What exactly is happening behind the glossy facade of K-pop's most powerful label? Why is Min Yoongi, better known to the world as Suga of BTS, flying alone to the United States, quietly without fanfare or formal announcement, while Hybe Corp is struggling to manage its own storm of speculation and scrutiny over continued donations to the prestigious Severance Hospital? Is this just a coincidence or the first signal of something much deeper? Fans are asking questions Hybe refuses to answer, and the silence is becoming deafening. Before we plunge into the layers of this unfolding mystery, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, because this story is evolving fast and you'll want to be the first to know what happens next. Could this be the beginning of a bigger rift? Or perhaps a personal mission only Yoongi could embark upon? Let's dissect the facts, follow the hidden trails, and examine the unexpected twists that have begun sending shockwaves across the fandom and industry alike. The world has seen Yoongi wear many hats: producer, rapper, philanthropist, and most recently, a soldier fulfilling his national duty. But on a rainy morning at Incheon International Airport, observers caught a glimpse of something rare: Yoongi, masked, dressed modestly in black, walking alone, boarding a flight to the United States. There was no accompanying staff, no visible entourage, and no official statement from Hybe Corp or Big Hit Music. What made this departure even more curious was the timing. Yoongi's recent involvement with charity and his well-publicized donations to Severance Hospital in Seoul have been both praised and questioned. Why Severance? Why now? And why the secrecy? Hybe, one of the most dominant forces in global entertainment, is usually ahead of the narrative. Their media play is strategic, controlled, and calculated, but this time they're struggling to catch up. Just weeks before Yoongi's sudden trip, documents surfaced detailing not just a one-time donation, but multiple anonymous contributions routed through private channels linked to Yoongi and other BTS-related entities. The purpose? Medical aid, equipment, cancer research, children's palliative care. All noble causes, but in the world of Korean entertainment, such altruism often signals more than kindness. It signals intent. Some say it signals escape. Fans are divided. Armies are known for their fierce loyalty and intuitive instincts, and right now, they sense something is off. Social media exploded within hours of Yoongi's departure. Theories range from an undisclosed medical procedure to secret collaboration work with Western artists, or even a coded message to international fans about a looming change within BTS. But the most concerning of all is the one question everyone is too afraid to ask: is Yoongi distancing himself from Hybe? It wouldn't be the first time internal tensions within the company caused fractures. Ever since Hybe's aggressive expansion into American markets, acquiring Ithaca Holdings, launching new girl groups under various sub-labels, and facing criticism over exploitation and over-commercialization, the company has been under fire. Add to that the immense pressure of managing BTS during their military service hiatus, and you have the perfect recipe for unrest. But Yoongi has always been the calm within the storm. Until now. There's something emotionally raw about seeing a man who has given so much to his fans, his country, and his label walk alone through an airport with no cameras, no entourage, and no visible agenda. Is peace he's seeking or escape? Could it be that Hybe isn't just losing a member's attention, but his trust? The donations to Severance Hospital provide yet another layer of intrigue. Severance is not just any hospital. It is a high-profile, research-driven medical center known for handling complex cases and collaborating with global institutions. If Yoongi were merely making charitable gestures, why choose this hospital specifically? And why now, during his mandatory military service? Insiders claim that Hybe has been scrambling internally to spin the narrative, yet every effort has failed to calm fan anxieties. Their silence speaks louder than words. Some close to the matter believe Yoongi's solo trip is about more than music. It's about legacy, about control, about reclaiming personal agency in an industry that's increasingly mechanical.
The emotional resonance of this moment cannot be overstated. Fans have long looked to Yoongi for quiet strength, for brutal honesty disguised as lyrical poetry. And now, as he moves across oceans on a journey that remains cloaked in secrecy, they are left with only questions and fears. Will he return with answers? Will he speak at all? We must consider the broader implications. What does this say about BTS's future as a group? Will Hybe be able to manage the mounting pressure from fans, media, and international stakeholders? Is this the beginning of a broader unraveling, or just a temporary storm in an already complex saga? And let's not forget, this comes at a time when Hybe is facing fierce competition and dwindling investor confidence. Share prices have fluctuated. Internal staff restructuring has led to an exodus of once loyal employees. The label's aggressive business strategies are now under the microscope, and the timing of Yoongi's quiet withdrawal could not be worse for Hybe's corporate image. If Yoongi is indeed meeting with industry professionals in the United States, what kind of project could warrant such secrecy? Would this be a defection or a declaration of independence? Could he be laying the groundwork for a solo foundation, away from the suffocating grip of corporate management? As the world speculates, one thing remains certain. This is not the usual script. This isn't a promotional stunt or a random trip. This is a turning point. The questions keep piling up. Why did Hybe not issue a statement? Why is there no mention of this journey in official BTS schedules? Why have insiders gone unusually quiet? It's possible that Yoongi is simply taking a moment for himself, a short-lived escape to recharge. But knowing Yoongi, calculated, thoughtful, intentional, nothing is ever random. And his fans know this. That's why they're watching, waiting, searching for signs. Behind the scenes, conversations are taking place. Whispers of discontent, of deeper truths hidden beneath glossy press releases and tightly curated social feeds. Could this be the start of a broader rebellion among artists shackled by the commercial machine? Whatever the truth is, Yoongi is now at the center of a storm he may not have intended to stir, but one he can no longer ignore. He is both the cause and the casualty of a system in flux. And while Hybe may still try to control the narrative, the fans have already taken the lead. Will he return to Seoul with a message? A new collaboration? A decision that will shake the core of the industry? The story is still unfolding, and we're here to follow it with you, every step of the way. Comment below with your theories, like if you're as shocked as we are, and subscribe to stay updated with real-time developments in this gripping saga. Because this isn't just about one artist. It's about a system, a legacy, a revolution that may already be underway. But what if Yoongi's silence isn't a break, but a form of protest? What if the donations to Severance Hospital are not just gestures of goodwill, but coded statements of dissatisfaction? Strategically targeted, emotionally loaded, and morally bulletproof. No one wants to accuse a man of rebellion when he's helping children with terminal illness. No one dares to question the motives of a philanthropist when millions are benefiting from the act. But this is exactly where the controversy thickens. Because behind every donation, behind every solo flight, lies the unmistakable scent of resistance. And Hybe knows it. Inside sources, who spoke under strict anonymity, claim that Yoongi's recent moves have sparked unease within the upper levels of Hybe. Executives have reportedly held closed-door meetings, analyzing public reaction and drafting internal memos that express serious concern over the optics of one of their most valuable assets operating outside of coordinated channels. One even stated, "This is not about where he's going. It's about what it symbolizes. Independence, defiance." Hybe has built an empire based on meticulous synchronization. Every member's movement, every post, every public appearance is vetted, polished, and presented with machine-like precision. But lately, the machine is glitching. Jungkook's sudden social media departure, Jimin's emotional hiatus, RM's cryptic posts about identity and burnout, and now Yoongi, a foundational pillar of the group, walking straight through that invisible line separating loyalty from autonomy. What's even more provocative is the timing of his solo activities just as public scrutiny toward Hybe's American ambitions intensifies. While Yoongi walks alone in Los Angeles, Hybe is defending itself from a barrage of criticism over the treatment of its new artists, particularly under its subsidiary ADOR, which has been rocked by whistleblower scandals and accusations of corporate manipulation. Meanwhile, longtime armies are beginning to voice what was once unthinkable. Has Hybe lost its way? The fandom is splintering. On Korean forums, international fan boards, and even university discussion panels, BTS supporters are no longer whispering about their discomfort. They're shouting it. There is a growing, painful discourse on whether the company that BTS built is now exploiting their name while stripping them of their individual humanity. And Yoongi's journey to the US, far from being a vacation or artistic collaboration, is now being dissected as a quiet act of revolution, a message encoded in calm, poet's rebellion. Still, the narrative is not without friction. Some defenders of Hybe argue that fans are reading too much into things, that Yoongi's donation history has always been generous, that artists are entitled to private trips without sparking chaos, and they may be right. But it's not the facts that fans are reacting to, it's the silence, the absence of transparency, the emotional vacancy where there used to be connection. People don't want another corporate press release. They want truth. And truth is messy, complicated, and, in cases like this, dangerously honest. In a now-deleted Weverse comment, one fan wrote, "He's not running. He's reminding us that he can still walk on his own." The post was shared tens of thousands of times before disappearing, either deleted by the original poster or quietly removed. But the message lingers, the idea that perhaps Yoongi isn't drifting away, but rising above. And then there's the Severance hospital controversy, an unexpected powder keg in this already sensitive atmosphere. While media outlets rushed to praise the donation, a parallel conversation emerged. Why Severance? Why now? And why were the transactions so discreet? An investigative thread on X, formerly Twitter, unearthed that Severance Hospital has deep ties to several political and corporate institutions. Some users speculated that the choice of hospital might be a carefully calculated move, either to shield Yoongi from certain PR risks, or worse, to subtly distance himself from Hybe's internal affiliations. While there is no concrete evidence of wrongdoing, the optics are anything but innocent. What should have been a heartwarming gesture has become a flashpoint, even more eyebrow-raising. Hybe's conspicuous absence in the press cycle surrounding the donation. Not a single quote, not a post, not a congratulatory note to Yoongi from the corporate account. It's as if the company itself was stunned, or unprepared. This vacuum has led to some uncomfortable questions. Did Hybe not authorize the donation? Was it done without their knowledge? And if so, is Yoongi acting independently of company protocol now? Is he still a soldier fulfilling duties, or a strategist executing a larger plan? And perhaps the most explosive question of all, is this the beginning of Yoongi's exit? Because no matter how much fans want BTS to return as Seven, the truth is that the K-pop landscape they left is no longer the same. And maybe they aren't either. Contracts expire. Trust fractures. Priorities evolve. If Hybe believes it can maintain control by holding on to legal rights, it's already lost the moral narrative. Yoongi, the man once praised for his raw vulnerability and brutal artistic honesty, may be using silence not as avoidance but as a weapon, as a means of protection, as a slow, deliberate distancing from a system that is beginning to show its cracks. So where does this leave us? It leaves us here, on the edge of what may be the most controversial turning point in modern K-pop history. It leaves us watching a lone figure walk away from the polished spotlight, into a place of mystery, autonomy, and maybe, for the first time in a long time, real freedom. Whatever comes next, it won't be quiet. And we'll be here when it happens. Don't just watch from the sidelines. Comment your theory, like if you're ready for the truth, and subscribe to follow the unraveling because the next chapter could change everything. As the dust refuses to settle, the controversy only deepens, and it's beginning to reach into places that even Hybe might not have anticipated. What was once a fan-driven theory now echoes through media circles, stockholder briefings, and internal chats within the K-pop industry. Everyone is asking the same question, but few dare to say it out loud. Is Suga preparing to leave Hybe? And possibly, BTS? It's a notion so jarring, so emotionally charged, that even fans who have followed Yoongi from his underground days in Daegu to sold-out stadiums worldwide struggle to wrap their hearts around it. But denial doesn't erase tension, and the signs are becoming too stark to ignore. In the weeks following his US trip, fans noticed a curious shift. Yoongi's social platforms fell into a haunting silence.
No updates.
No behind-the-scenes content.
No reassurances.
Even more strange, HYB's promotional machine, typically quick to capitalize on member visibility, has remained motionless. For an artist of his caliber, absence is louder than presence. Behind the scenes, whispers grow louder. Several unconfirmed, but troublingly consistent, leaks have emerged from individuals claiming knowledge of internal HYB discussions. According to these sources, talks have been held about restructuring the company's public strategy should certain members choose not to renew contracts. Some suggest Yoongi is the catalyst behind these emergency meetings. Others say he's the model for what happens when an idol becomes too powerful to control. Let's be clear. No official statement has been made, but that's exactly the problem. This isn't a scandal built on tabloid lies or clickbait headlines. This is a slow unraveling. A power shift happening in real time, cloaked in courtesy and silence. And fans are left in the cold. What's worse is the toll it's taking emotionally on the fandom. ARMY, one of the most unified and organized fan bases in the world, is fracturing under the weight of speculation. One corner calls for patience, believing that BTS would never break promises made in tears during group speeches. Another corner, more cynical and world-worn, points to history. Contracts end. Artistic visions clash. Business interests override loyalty. And now, that painful reality is creeping closer to the center of the BTS universe. Still, if Yoongi is considering a departure, or at the very least detachment, it wouldn't be a move made lightly. This is the same man who poured his trauma into lyrics, who once said music saved him from himself, who viewed his art as both survival and revolution. If he is walking away from the structure that gave him his platform, it's not out of rebellion, it's out of necessity. What exactly pushed him to this point? One potential answer lies in HYB's recent corporate behavior. The company has shifted dramatically in the last 3 years, from artist first to shareholder first. Aggressive market expansion into the US, opaque acquisitions, new groups designed for fast monetization, and overextended branding have turned what was once a visionary label into a capitalist machine. And artists like Yoongi, who value integrity, identity, and creative autonomy, are beginning to suffocate. Fans who once defended HYB now ask, where did the soul go? And some believe that Yoongi's quiet resistance is his answer to that question. Adding fuel to the fire is HYB's shocking treatment of controversies within its other divisions, especially the ADOR and Min Hee-jin saga. If an internal war is breaking out within the walls of HYBE, is Yoongi silently taking a side? Or is he removing himself from the battlefield altogether? Even more chilling is what fans uncovered on a recent livestream. A sharp-eared ARMY caught a moment during a muted conversation where Yoongi reportedly whispered something barely audible. I don't want to go back. It was unclear if he meant the military, the company, or the system itself. But those 5 words lit a wildfire online. The clip was downloaded, translated, dissected, and reposted more than 200,000 times before being quietly removed from the platform. And this brings us to a breaking point. This isn't just about Yoongi. This is about the future of artist autonomy in an industry built on compliance. If one of K-pop's most respected and disciplined idols is quietly refusing to play by the rules, it may set off a domino effect. Newer idols, many of whom cite BTS as their role models, are watching. They're listening. And if Yoongi walks, others may follow. Some say that's exactly what HYB fears most. The company, despite its enormous resources and global partnerships, is still desperately reliant on BTS's legacy to maintain cultural relevance and stock value. If Yoongi formally breaks away or even implies dissatisfaction, it sends a signal far more dangerous than a scandal. It signals a loss of control. And that's something no entertainment corporation can afford. Still, despite the chaos, there is something inspiring, almost poetic, about Yoongi's silence. He isn't shouting. He isn't accusing. He's simply stepping back, not with rage, but with grace. And in doing so, he may be teaching fans and the industry something far more powerful than rebellion: how to walk away with dignity. So what happens next? Will Yoongi return to Hybe's fold with a new agreement? Will he speak up? Will he remain silent and let the world interpret his moves? Or will we soon see the unthinkable? Min Yoongi, formerly of BTS, launching a solo path entirely outside of the system that made him a global icon? Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. And as fans, critics, and corporations all hold their breath, Yoongi, quiet, brilliant, deliberate, continues to move like a shadow, reshaping the industry not through noise, but through absence. If this is a goodbye, it's the most haunting one we've ever seen. But maybe, just maybe, it's a beginning in disguise. Tell us what you think in the comments. Is Yoongi sending a message? Is this the quiet storm before everything changes? Like, share, and subscribe, for the next chapter is already being written, and it may be his boldest yet.